Okay, so in today's power up, what is the slope of the line described by the equation 6y minus 3x equals 18? So this is going to go directly to what we were talking about yesterday, where we have a linear function in standard form and we want to put it into slope-intercept form. Okay? So remember, the reason that we're putting it in slope-intercept form is because slope-intercept form gives us y equals mx plus b, and m is our slope. The question, for those of you not looking at the power-up, is what is the slope of the line described by the equation 6y minus 3x equals 18? Okay, so to put it into slope-intercept form, we're going to simply isolate y using our algebra skills. You could even argue our pre-algebra skills. So I will go ahead and put plus 3x on this side of the equal sign and plus 3x on this side so we can balance our equation. Okay, and that means that the negative 3x plus 3x, that's going to cancel out, and we're going to end up with 6y all by itself on this side equals 3x plus 18. Remember, since there's no minus sign here, that means that there's going to be a plus sign, and that's why we put 3x plus 18. Okay, then our next step is we're going to divide by 6, because the inverse operation to multiplication is division. Divide by 6. These two cancel out because 6 over 6 cancels out. You're left with y equals 3 over 6 is 1/2. 1/2 x plus 18 divided by 6 is 3. Okay? And I'm going to use blue because that's what I was using over there. 1/2 is our m. m equals 1/2. Therefore, our slope is equal to 1/2. Okay? So we have solved for the first one. What is the slope of the line described by the equation 6y minus 3x equals 18? That is solved. All right, great. So now, let's go ahead and look at the next one. It says, write the equation of the line in the standard xy coordinate plane that has a y-intercept of -3 and is parallel to the line 5x minus 5y equals 4. Okay, so on the ACT, you've got to get used to seeing these questions that say, write the equation of the line in the standard xy coordinate plane. That's all over. That's just the language that they use on it. So basically, you've got a xy coordinate plane, and you've got a line that's going through the xy coordinate plane, and we have to write the equation of that line. That's all that that's saying. In this case, what we know about the line is that it is parallel to 5x minus, sorry, that is incorrect, 3x. 3x minus 5y equals 4. Parallel to 3x minus 5y equals 4, and it has a y-intercept of -3. Y-intercept of -3. Right? Okay, so if it's parallel, what do we know about lines that are parallel? Lines that are parallel have the same slope. So essentially, this is the same as the same question as the first one, the same problem as the first one, where we just need to find the slope. So let's go ahead and make this into slope-intercept form. Okay, so I need to get rid of 3x on both sides of my little equal sign here. Okay? And I'm going to end up with -5y. Remember, the minus always goes with the thing that comes after it. Equals -3x plus 4. Okay, and then I just need to divide both sides by -5. Everything, every term divides by -5. And I'm going to end up with y all by itself equals -3 divided by -5 is positive 3/5 x. Positive 4 divided by -5 is a negative 4/5. Okay, so now we have our slope. We have a different y-intercept. Okay, so the line that's going to be parallel to it with this y-intercept, we just have to put in the place of b. Okay? Put it in the place of b in our y equals mx plus b form, right? So the b is the only thing that changes. So our answer is going to be y equals 3/5 x, what is it, minus 3. And voila, you are done with that one. All right. Now, our last problem, it says Martin's average score after 4 tests is 89. What score would Martin have to get on his 5th test in order to bring the average up to 90? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to say he has 4 tests. And here's what I'm going to do for the 4 tests. I'm going to say that all 4 of his first tests were 89. Okay? Because that means that the average of these 4, you multiply 89 times 4, and then you divide by 4. In other words, you add these all together, and it's 4 times 89, and then you're just going to divide by 4. So we know that that is the average of 89. It doesn't matter what numbers they were because those 4 numbers average 89, right? So now we got to figure out what the 5th number is going to be to move the average up to 90, okay? So one of the things that we could do, let's go ahead and add those 4 numbers. And I actually have a calculator here because I'm at work today. So 89 plus 89 plus 89 plus 89, which is the same as 4 times 89, is 356, right? So 4 times 89 equals 356. And if I were to divide that by 4, I would get 89 again. So I know that that's right. Okay, so 356, okay, divided by 4 is going to give me my average of 89. So now, 356 plus some number, right? Okay, all divided by 5 is going to give me 90. Why? Because I'm going to have 5 numbers. I'm going to add them all together and divide by 5 because that's the nature of average, and I'm going to get 90. So basically all I have to do here is I have to use my algebra skills to make this work. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides by 5 so that these can cancel out, okay? So that these can cancel out, right? And then I'm going to get that 356 plus x equals 450 because that is what 90 times 5 is. Oh, whoops. Let me use my eraser. I don't know why I put a 4 there. 356 plus x, okay, equals 450. Then my next step is I've got to subtract 356 from both sides. Okay? Obviously, these are going to cancel out. 356 minus 356 is 0. So then my next step, let's see if I can pull this up a little bit. No, I can't really. Okay, so then my next step is I'm going to say, wait, so 450 minus 356. If it were 450 minus 350, it would be 100, but it's 6 less than that, so it's going to be 94. Okay, so that means that x equals 94. Okay, and if I wanted to, I could see if that's right. 356 plus 94 equals 450 divided by 5 equals 90, and that's right. So your answer is x equals 94.